Whoop, I'm not on camera because I forgot to turn the overlay off because I don't know what the hell I'm doing still. Welcome to Talk Wrestling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, what a amazing debut, a return, I should say, not debut. I'm fucking talking on my ass here. Of the NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Challenge. Yes, Greg Cherry did in fact retain the championship, and yes, I colossally screwed up the scoreboard. So there's that. My apologies to everybody out there who is a dedicated fan of the WTC, and I really appreciate everybody watching and tuning in today during the live stream. And if you didn't come this week, try again next week, as you say, at Rocky Horror Picture Show. So, with that said, let me bring in the man who is, as of this moment, still the NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Champion, Greg Cherry. Again, it was such a heartbreak for me talking to you the other day, and when we found out the scoring gaffe, I was like, damn it. But as we pointed out, mathematically impossible. So
it's very fortunate for you, really, that it wasn't like a really close match. I mean, Shane did well. I'm not going to knock him, but the fact of the matter that it was such a discrepancy that even if Shane would have got the last three questions, I believe it was, right, it still would have been 9-6. So he would have just lost by less. So that being said,
it was one of those Jeff Meacham, Greg Cherry take the dominant lead. There was no chance in hell anyways. So, but props to Shane. He's one of the few that got into my Instagram inbox and stepped up. So, bravo, honestly, because, pretty much the entire rest of the new blood Twitterverse, YouTubeverse apparently has no cojones because they won't step up. So, well, there are a few in the queue, and we're
we got another episode in 2 weeks, so somebody's gonna have to step up, and we'll record it before that.
We got somebody lined up, so we'll have to coordinate schedules, which is always a fun. I think it'd be easier in this environment we live in this world right now, but it's just freaking not. It's just crazy.
Nobody can go anywhere. It's not like you have anything else to do. Step up and face me for this.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
seriously. No, and you never have. It's just a matter of people assume the worst. Keep in mind, folks, other than going to take a potty break or going to the kitchen, I don't leave this I sleep in this chair, okay? Seriously, it's not that serious. So Chris Cass makes it very well. I'm going to throw it at everybody to see right now. And it's very tried and true over the years of we've been doing this show. Once you go down more than one, it's damn near impossible back. So it's
it's not impossible though, because I've done it on multiple occasions. So I think
you have. It's
too. But
I'm pretty sure both of our wins over each other were come from behinds. So it is doable, but if you're not Jeff Meacham or Greg Cherry, it's difficult. So So we've been on camera like 600 times this week talking about different things, but I wanted to get your brief input on. We didn't really touch a whole lot on Howard yesterday, as far as you and I on the review. Virtue and Aaron kind of took the reins, and you know what? That's their vehicle, so more power to them. But you've been a fan for a long time, and you were first coming up as a fan. Howard really was starting to get into the gimmick side of things, as far as he was doing the tuxedo match with Harvey, and he was doing the the stuff with DX and with Jericho. And I wanted to get what are your enduring memories of Howard Finkel?
I mean, Howard Finkel was really the soundtrack to our childhood as far as wrestling is concerned. I mean, the iconic, and I think every single person who's ever tried to do announcing has always tried to imitate Howard Finkel. And Aaron's done it on the Trivia Challenge, and we've tried to do it also. But nobody is Howard Finkel. Nobody is ever going to have that iconic of a voice. And
no, it's very much. I don't know who your guy is for the Penguins, but we had a guy out here, David Courtney, who was our our PA announcer for many, many years, back in the Forum days and going into the Staples Center years. And he announced when the Stanley Cup was brought onto the ice in 2012 when we won the big one finally. And during the lockout that following season, he ended up passing away. So when we came back to work that following January, after the shit finally stopped hitting the fan, we were with a new PA announcer, and it was rough. It was very hard on the whole Kings family that we had lost David. And so I kind of relate to the immediate WWE family and all the fans. It's crazy. So CJ, I love your point about liking Chimmel and Justin Roberts. I love both their styles. I think those guys are amazing, and nobody can announce the rated R superstar like Tony Chimmel. And Justin Roberts, his own style that works great with AEW, and it did work in WWE when he was there. But again, you can't outthink the think. You just can't. So, it occurred to me at the end of that show that you plugged your lack of Twitter, and that has since changed.
Yeah, it's funny because like we taped that last week, and then the following Tuesday, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to start promoting my shirts and everything else as Unified, and I talked to Jen about it. It's like we got to get back on Twitter. So I did that. She did that. And backstory for anybody who doesn't know, my wife and I had our Twitters hacked in November, the same day, which is really weird. And
it's both of you. I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it was both of us. Yeah, both of us in like the same 24, 48-hour time frame. So we
holy balls. Okay.
Yeah, we took Twitter away, and like our minds were a little bit happier for it because Twitter's kind of simple. But
it is.
So starting from the bottom, as far as like followers and stuff, is definitely a rough thing. But hopefully, with the return of the trivia challenge and me doing more stuff with NoDQ again, like the live stream, which I'll be doing tomorrow, 3:00 Eastern, and then I'll probably move back to Sundays. Just figured I get a plug-in, and hopefully I can build that Twitter up to where I have more people interacting and all that stuff, because I got a lot of shirts on my Teespring store I want to sell, and and quite frankly, it's not really about the money. It's just I love being creative. I mean, the money helps,
exactly,
but the fact that I get to do so many different things and be creative and have an outlet for that and have the possibility of making money, that really appeals to me. Like I said, it's not solely about the money. It's just I have fun designing stuff, even though I'm not a professional graphic designer by any stretch of the imagination. It's just really fun for me. So indulge in my artwork.
It's
mediocre as it is.
And the common phrase here the last 2 months is we live in uncertain times. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of us had or have jobs that, we're not going to right now outside of our front door. So if you've got an outlet to be a creative, graphic designer or, producer of YouTube content like I've been doing or whatever, the means to our end are there for us now because of the digital age. So I am all about getting the shirts out there. I'm all about, producing content every day. I have a big announcement, as a matter of fact, about a new show on the network here in a little while. So stay tuned for that.
I know that, so I won't spoil.
I know you know, but you forgot for a second. Yeah, I actually forgot to upload the graphic to the stream here, so I'm pissed off myself, but I'll figure it out. So there's that. And, thanks to my other Greg, my second grade going back, Greg, I've got the dream, brother. I never in my wildest dreams thought that post by the NoDQ Instagram 3 years ago would produce something, and shit, here it is on my back. So it's amazing how in times of crisis that, the creativity starts spinning in our heads. It's an amazing thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So there is that. So tomorrow at 3 Eastern, you said?
Yeah, 3:00 Eastern. I will be doing my live stream. if you super chat some money, I'll give you a spin. You could have the possibility of winning a shirt as soon as Riff pays me. But
yeah,
because
I still want my shirt.
I still have yet to order them, and it's like I get a little bit of commission off of the shirts, but come on. I gotta get the shirts out to the people who want them. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, hey, it's been a month. Where's my shirt? Still haven't ordered it yet. Like I want to get on this, but it is what it is.
We have a I don't do super chats because I'm too broke and too undersubscribed to have super chats. But Big G has a great suggestion, and I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Anytime I can bring the winged eagle or the big gold out in public, I'm down.
If you bring the winged eagle to Big G's wedding, I totally want to get a picture with it because that is my championship right there. I know you're a big gold bet, 10 pounds of gold, but the winged eagle is mine.
Oh no! I have fawned over both of those championships. I'm not going to lie about that, but when I bought those championships, when I had them, I was very happy to have them. I didn't bawl like a 3-year-old like I did with the winged eagle when it came in the mailbox.
That's fair.
Like that belt was the belt, man, when we were kids. So as pristine as it was, and quite frankly, you still have taken very good care of that particular belt. Is very cool. So, all right, I'm going to bring in our next guest. Thank you, Greg. We will see you tomorrow at 3 Eastern on youtube.com/Aaron Riff NoDQ. And, of course, next week for Rewind Review and maybe here on Talk Wrestling to promote the following week's Trivia Challenge.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, have a good night, sir. Take it easy.
Yep.
All right. We lost Mikey at some point. I don't know what happened to him. And let me see if I can bring him because he was in a moment, and then I don't know if the machine kicked him out or what, but let me, as I'm stalling for time because my computer is slow, anything, and I don't know why this is still up because I'm not doing the show anymore. Come on. Anyway, I'm gonna let it load for a minute. So let's get to some of your questions. And first of all, I'm glad you brought this up, Don, because when you talked about it in the private chat, I was curious which belt you were referring to because I missed that part of the conversation. It's awesome that you got the WWF version of the European Championship. I absolutely love the European Championship. I think it's one of the most underrated, underappreciated championship belts. The actual belt design itself is grossly underappreciated. And yes, you are the man. You are the reason that this shirt is on my back, the MEACHAMANIA shirt, because of your post on the NoDQ.com Instagram that you ran yourself back then, and it bore a hole in my temple with an idea. So I cannot understand how much I appreciate your input on that. CJ, no worries about the being where you are if you can't watch the whole thing. I'm only going to go till, I'm hoping until 4:30 my time, which will be 7:30. That way I'm not bleeding directly into SmackDown because I'd like to watch SmackDown in some semblance of peace, but good luck with that. Okay, so Mikey's trying to get back in. That's while we're waiting for Mr. Statboy. Let me see. I missed a bunch of questions, and I apologize. I was talking as I do with him. Chris, I am all about you train somebody because I know you can't challenge Greg because that is the rule this year. We're going to have new blood in the pool, if you will. So you want to train somebody, by all means. Hell, T-Fame trained Greg to challenge me, and he took the championship from me. So is definitely a helpful process. So by all means, go for it. Let's see what we got here. Wrestling fan, yeah, Wrestling fan 1088. I agree. It's kind of again, they're also people that say that it's only gotten really bad during the crisis, and that's not true. WWE has been struggling for a long time with creativity and their booking process, and I think that is so cool. I met Howard Let's see. I met Howard Finkel years back in FCW. He was doing an appearance and announced matches. He was a really nice and good guy. I think I met Howard at Access. They were here for WrestleMania 2000 in Anaheim. I'm there at the good old Arrowhead Pond, which is now, of course, the Honda Center, right there off of Catella there in Anaheim. And people are going, "What the hell's Catella?" It's near Disney. Let's put it that way, and near Angel Stadium. Matter of fact, you can walk from Angel Stadium to the pond if you so desire to do both one day, which I actually did. I went to an Angels game once, and then I went to a Ducks game the same day. Speaking of the Ducks,
there I
let's see if
am.
this worked. Is he there? I see a black screen. Can we make it work? Maybe.
I'm here. I know you can. I'm hoping.
The technical difficulties are real this week.
Oh,
We're having trouble all week on these damn shows. These technical glitches.
Okay, you can hear my voice.
I hear your
you
voice.
Can't see me.
I can see your face. I can see your face. Stat Boy is for week 2. Stat Boy with the quarantine beard in full effect, man. God bless you.
Yeah. Like I said, when I first got into quarantine, I had the Lemmy going. I had the whole Triple H thing going. 3 weeks later, here I am.
Let's call it Triple H. Nobody can touch Lemmy's beard.
I went for the Triple H, and anyway, let me quickly say.
Matter of fact, I was going to say, matter of fact, the Triple H beard was a point of contention a few years back in the household here because we were watching WrestleMania 22 at the height of XMV's popularity, and Lee, my buddy Stagger Lee, ended up wagering his beard, his Triple H beard, on a Triple H win that year. We all know how that turned out. So the next week on XMV, Stagger Lee was clean shaven, and what was funny was the week after that XMV was the XMV we taped at my Rocky Horror audition. So Lee was clean shaven out of the new art. He was just a stewing.
Yes, he was. I think I remember that day.
So carry on, sir. You had something to say.
Well, I was going to say excellent show with the wrestling trivia. I was in the chat room, and I played along.
Thank you.
And by my count, I got 8 questions right.
Nice.
So Mr. Greg Cherry might have a little bit of a guy waiting in the wings. You never know. Never say never. I'm not going to say that. And
hey,
those
if
are very good questions, by the way, too.
Well, okay. The questions are as far as this season so far. Let me just be clear. The questions so far this season are a combination of myself and Greg's contention trainer, T-Fame.
Cool.
So it just depends on how many I have in the queue and how many I need to pat. Right now, he pretty much patted episode 3 for me.
Good man.
I've just been so busy with doing these streams and everything, and it's been chaos and mayhem, if you will, as we do on NoDQ and every other channel I work on. So
we've had chaos since the Casa days. You can't deny that one.
Well, no. I've had chaos on YouTube before YouTube even freaking existed, if we want to get really real. So it's, when I was first coming down to visit you guys, I was already in, knee deep in chaos with wrestling shit. So, there you go. So you came to me yesterday asking if I was going to do a live video about Howard because we had just gotten the news about Howard. And I said, I'm going to be on the review because that's what I do on Thursdays is work with Aaron. But I was going to bring him up on Talk Wrestling because I felt it was important to bring him up and give him the proper attention because I got to meet Howard, as I mentioned earlier, at Access in 2000 in Anaheim. And I was mentioning before you came into the room that down in Anaheim, because WrestleMania's at the Arrowhead Pond, which is at the Honda Center, which is just down the street from Angel Stadium. And you can, if you so choose, if the timing lines up and you're allowed to fucking do it, you can go to an Angels game and a Ducks game in the same day.
There you go.
Which we did. Well, I did. I don't know. You
I haven't gotten a chance to do that yet. If I had the money or the means, I would try that. As long as the Ducks first, I'd do it in reverse. I'd go Ducks, then Angels.
I got that the Mariners came into town and it was a day game, and then the Kings were playing down the street against the Ducks. So it was just fait accompli. It happened to work out for me. So
hockey, what a concept!
But my goodness, it sucks not going to anything right now. We missed opening day of baseball. There's no Stanley Cup playoffs. It's just ugh.
It is.
So I wanted to get your input because you've been a fan for a long time as well, and I wanted to get your enduring memories of Howard Finkel.
Well, I started watching wrestling 1990, and I posted this on my personal page. It was Howard Finkel, and there was another female announcer. Her name was Mike McGurk, and they would go back and forth between shows. And
much to Bobby Heenan's chagrin.
Yes, Bobby Heenan had a huge problem with Mike McGurk for whatever reason. He's like, who is this person or whatever? And
it was all kayfabe. Everybody adored Mike except the people that got her fired, apparently.
Exactly. And I liked Fink as an announcer. He's got that distinct voice. He doesn't super exaggerate everything, kind of like Justin Roberts does when he says John Cena. It's like John Cena and all. No, that Howard did it almost like an operetta, like an opera. He had that operatic voice. If you could find the note on the piano and new, you could note and find that. The only downside, I didn't like the idea of him being in the tuxedo match. That was a bit of a joke. The whole Finkus Maximus thing at WrestleMania 9, that was fun. He even did something. He did the hair club for men at WrestleMania 10. That was silly. And then by the time he started feuding with Garcia, that's when I'm like, okay, Howard, you've gone a little bit overboard with what they want you to do. And then I think Lillian had taken over full time, and he was in the background. And then I found out that he was the chief statistician. And I'm like, well, hey, maybe I can learn something from this guy. I sent him a tweet. I'm like, hey, I'm a stat boy. I would love to see something on WWE.com. Why don't you put the stats out there? Why don't you do win-loss records? Why don't you, put all these really cool numbers like normal sporting events, like, Triple H beat Randy Orton 10 times last year. That's just an example. I don't know if that's legit or not. And sadly,
it's probably accurate now.
Probably so. I mean, and so then that's when I started getting the idea to start writing the stat books that I've been doing. And I started with HBK. You were there for that. And I gave Billy Gunn his. I gave Mark Henry his. I'm currently working on the Dudley Boys. This is this new book that I'm working on with the Dudley Boys is coming along nicely, and it's going to be the first book for them as a team, but it's also going to have their individual stuff at the same time.
Nice.
And I actually did find a camouflage binder to put it in. And I'm like,
fancy. I dig it.
Oh yes, absolutely. I had no clue he was sick. I had no clue what happened. Tommy Dreamer just tweeted out about it earlier today, and Howard looked very, very frail, and that was okay. I understand, and just yesterday, I was shown a video. He did somebody's wedding, and every member of the groomsmen and the bridesmen, they all came out to different various WWE theme songs. They had the children there. They had the flower girls and the ring bearers, and they had little toy replica belts. One actually did have a Smoking Skull belt, which I loved, and I'm like, that's amazing right there. And then there was Legends House and all that other stuff. Will he be duplicated? No, you cannot. No matter how hard you try, you cannot duplicate his voice, and his legacy will go on forever. And I just want to keep doing more stat work because of him.
Yep. By the way, before I get to Mark Bannon's comment, I don't know if you can see.
I can see that. Yes, Mark.
Okay, cool. So, I have it on good authority that Shawn Michaels liked your book.
Really? That is good to know. I am very surprised that he actually did like the book. I've tried tweeting him about it, and haven't heard anything from Billy about his book. There was a small little thing with Mark's book, and I've been sending tweets out to the Dudley boys when I'm working on their book. I just have the only problem is
Right.
when I finish it, I have no idea where to send it to. I have nothing. I have no information about Busted Open Radio, so I don't know where they
Right. Well,
like that, anything like
if
that. But I'll
if
don't worry about that.
things continue to hit the fan, then Devon may be available for a mailbox. But if not, you can always send to the Performance Center because he's still an agent technically. So
Yeah.
there's always that. I mean, I don't know how much you trust the WWE mailing system, but
Hey, if you can't trust the postal service, who can you trust?
well, it's not about the USPS. It's about WWE getting it to the right hands. That's the thing.
Mm.
So
I would
yeah,
I would love to have Vince see this. He's like, "What the hell is this?" And he's looking through the and
this is good shit.
God, I want a book. I'm like, sure, Vince. The book of Vince McMahon can only be 5 pages long. I don't know.
Okay, so 20 matches later and we're good. That's it.
Yeah, really.
Whatever it is. So, how are you? People that have followed me as long as they followed me are you doing to have yourself go back crazy during this chaos? Because I know in your real life you work, in a public place and you're not going right now. So, what are you doing to keep sane?
Well, we talked about this at WrestleMania. Knott's Berry Farm is closed down still, so there's that. Taking a lot of walks, watching a lot of television, keeping the house clean, going out for essential groceries when necessary. Sadly, though, I'm not doing very good with face masks. I tried to wear a face mask for a couple days, and I don't know if it's a mental thing or I don't know if it is a physical thing, but it literally gags me, and I get
Right.
that sick feeling, So that's a little
Yeah.
bit scary. So I take the mask off. Living in Orange County, our numbers are low. Sadly, everything
Yes.
is huge in LA. They're now in the 10,000 number range.
Yep. Yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy up here.
Yeah. You're Canyon Country, right? So where does that fall?
We are technically at the northernmost part of LA County before you. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Technically, the Antelope Valley is out where our mutual person is. You go that far north, and then once you get out into the next exit up from Lancaster is Kern County. So everything from Lancaster all the way through basically like Union Station is LA County. I'm sorry, no, because Long Beach is LA County too. So
yeah, Long Beach is LA
pretty
County.
much from Lancaster all the way down, pretty much to whatever the first OC stop is on the Metrolink line is all LA County. So we do encompass a lot of space, which is why there's so many cases because there's just so many damn people.
But like I said, I'm still good. It's been 30 days since I haven't worked. So I'm okay. I'm not sick. None of us are sick here. We're all good in the house.
That's good.
But going to Walmart and going to the grocery store, I'm seeing tons of masks now. So I'm glad people are wearing masks. But when I physically can't wear a mask, I get that tiny little feeling like, should I be wearing my mask right now? Because I don't want to get sick over everybody because of something mental. But we're all good. We're good.
I will tell you right now, it's coming to the point where if you don't wear a mask or actively try to wear a mask, they're gonna start cracking down on us for not taking. You gotta remember something. I did some math. I have not gone past the end of my driveway since my MRI on March 22nd.
Wow.
I've not left the grounds at all. And I thought, well, let's see. I can't get up out of my chair after RC's workout on Tuesday. Gee, I wonder why. The dog's getting this big. Dylan's not going for walks. He's having his Taekwondo stuff online and everything. But, I think it's time the dog and I start going for walks.
Yeah, you got to go around the block, be safe.
Right.
Take the dog out.
The thing is, though, I've been waiting for my mom to create a custom mask for me because that's what she's doing to pass her time. And I ended up, I got an email from WWE Shop about a few days ago. I was also going to announce this with a graphic across the screen. I didn't load the damn thing in there. But I got that NWO collector's box that they put out.
Ooh, good one.
And part of the collector's box is the NWO bandana, which, if
you can make
tweaked
a
the right
mask
way,
out of.
can be a mask.
There you
Exactly.
go.
So Mom's going to see if she can keep the NWO logo displayed and twist into a mask for me. So when that gets here, I will start going back out in public.
The one thing I am seeing that's kind of frustrating, and I just found this out as well, Facebook is putting a lot of Lego advertisements up saying, flash sales, 80% off.
Mhm.
Don't do it. Don't do it. They are scam sites.
No.
I almost found out the hard way. I mean, I saw the Lego Imperium shuttle for like $30, the Taj Mahal for 25. I'm like, hey, this is a great deal. And then I didn't click. I didn't put any information in, but I'm like, I did a little research. That boy does his homework, and it's like, these are scam sites. You're gonna lose your money, so don't do it. So
yeah, it's quite frightening that they were able to get away with that. It's pretty. We're in the fun house. I forgot I had that loaded in, and in fact, I think I like this one better because it's more generic and not so. And the damn WrestleMania tags in the corner, which now we're in the ring. Yeah. For some reason, the Firefly Funhouse has the WrestleMania thing, but not this. So I'll keep it like this when I have a co-host. That works. I'm trying to. If you're serious about challenging Greg, I will be more than happy to put you in the queue.
Like I said, I've been kind of wanting to ever since you were champion. I want to play a couple rounds. I mean, but the questions you had, some of those were very good questions, and they stumped even me. I wouldn't mind an exhibition. I wouldn't mind even if you wanted me to do some preliminary matches against other people, and I have to work for it. Either way, I'm fine for whatever.
Well, the thing, and I appreciate your desire and your want to earn the shot. We're of the opinion now that Greg's been dormant for a year, because the last time he defended the championship prior to today was the Iron Man match against me WrestleMania week last year. Yeah. And people have been crawling up both asses to get the title back in play. So if you want to step up, I will be more than happy to put you in the queue. And if Greg is still champion when we get to you, great. If you gotta face the new guy or new girl, there you go. Whatever works. I'm having so much fun. Other than the freaking score bots, which I'm having so much fun being back involved and not worrying about the pressure. Which, for me, I love competition, but I think I lost more hair being champion than I did watching the dog go bark across the street. Than I did raising Dylan, because it was so stressful. So I'm glad to be the host and just be the guy, with Mr. and Mr. guys. So I will.
And if I do challenge Greg Carey and he literally squashes me, I will take that beating with a grain of salt.
Well, of course, and it's one of those things where I was prepared either way last year. I was prepared that if Greg beat me, I would sit back and go, you know what, you're the man, and I have for a year. He's the man. I was also prepared that if I did in fact defeat him in the final showdown, that all right, work. So I was prepared either way, and I'm very glad that I'm honestly glad that Greg beat me and that it was so close. We both smelled like roses coming out of that, rather than me smelling like shit with a thumping. And now we can move forward. And I will definitely your name to the list and stand by.
Thank you.
We will see you. I'll probably bring you in maybe today or next Friday. We'll see how things go when I get topics set up. So stay tuned for that, Mikey. Take care, boss.
All right, catch you later. Stat boy out.
As is mine. Stat boy out. All right, there was Stat Boy. Let's see. I have no new comments. That's depressing as hell. Oh well. So the Think was and will always be my favorite ring announcer. I would have to agree with Mark Bannon there. Although I was gonna bring up during the course of the discussion as I bring up Twitter, because I forgot a lot of that. I forgot to load questions in too, which really irritates me that I did that. But anyway. Tony Chimmel was a wonderful ring announcer also, and I think he's still involved with the company in some way. So, is commenting. That makes me smile. If you want to come in, by all means, come on in. If it is who I think it is, let me send that person a link. Copy to clipboard. Come on, copy. Copy, 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 copy. I don't know if it copied. There it goes. Piece of garbage. Anyway, Tony Chimmel was a great ring announcer, and he, like we said on Wrestling Rewind a couple weeks ago, he took one for the team and super kick, flush in the face, and was carted there on a gurney. So more power to Tony. And he, of course, he announced Edge like nobody else could. He also did my favorite John Cena announcement with the John Cena. So I like announcement. The Undertaker. All right, I can't do these. I'm not a ring announcer. I just I'm just not that guy. So let me just see what we got here. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Okay. I don't know why this isn't working. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and go back to the room. And let's close that. Come on. Damn, this thing's running slow today. So, there we go. Okay. Am I on? Hello, am I on? Hi. Okay. Try that again. With Florida giving WWE the rights to continue, and with the news that some WWE were tested positive for the virus, on a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed are you that WWE can get away with this? I honestly mentioned this on the review yesterday, and I was rather pissed off, to be perfectly honest with you. That it's allowed to happen, but again, politics are what politics are, and that's just the way, it is. And again, I mentioned this yesterday, and Aaron co-signed. Without wrestling, I don't have a job. Without wrestling being prolific, however prolific it may be in these times, without wrestling, Aaron doesn't have a way to pay bills, make rent, etc. And I don't have the means to try to make a go of this. So there you go. I don't like that they're in bed with who they're in bed with, but again, what are you gonna do? Big G with a comment. My favorite Howard Finkel memory. There's so many with Howard. He was such a nice guy. Meeting him at Access was really cool, but I don't have any photographic proof of that, so I don't have an enduring memory of it in my head. What I remember most with him is honestly, what sticks out right now as I think about it at this very moment is him introducing Stone Cold Steve Austin down the ramp on the way to the match with Shawn Michaels. I could hear Howard's distinct Stone Cold Steve Austin, that tone, that baritone voice of his. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can see it so well and hear it so well. It's just that's forever in my memory is the WrestleMania 14 ring announcements, especially Stone Cold. The Cleaver, Colin Andrew, one of my favorite people in my internet wrestling family, and a hell of a host on the Aftermatch Network, which we'll get to in just a second. Although it's already well into the second half of the show, so I don't know if I'm going to do commercials or not today. I might just go through this. I don't mind necessarily. As a matter of fact, I think that's exactly why they did change Cross's name, is because Tommaso is the Psycho Killer, and they didn't want two killers in the same brand, especially if they're going to feud. So it makes sense to me now that you say it exactly how you laid it out there in that question. That they would have changed his name. And again, the name they came up with him is still a killer-centric name, so I'm not overly mad about it. I did do one Twitter question, Kobe. That was about the WWE getting licensed to work again in Florida. So I'm gonna get. I have Twitter right here in front of me. I don't have it loaded in the queue like I did last week because I just didn't have time to load the screenshot. So forgive me, but I will. Psycho Jet Black, I'm going to answer yours because I love your question. My favorite Kings... actually, the question is who's the greatest LA Kings player of all time, not my favorite. My favorite is Marcel Dion, and I mentioned that on his birthday. No, was it? I posted a picture recently of he and I at a recent year's game. But the greatest player in Kings history is, in my opinion, Luc Robitaille. I just think that he, they had the what do you call it? A hat when he retired. He was the King of Kings. Now, granted, this is before Triple H was the King of Kings, and honestly, Jesus Christ is the King of Kings to most people, so I didn't want to step on the toes or anything. But JJ, stand by. I'm going to try again to get this thing to load. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I think. Hang on a second. I forgot I can do this. Let's see. Where's the banner? Let's try that and see what happens. I'm gonna put that up for JJ because I can't get Messenger to load, Jay. So there you go. There it is right there. If it doesn't work, let me know. Okay, let me get to the next question. Mr. Yuck, with the current WWE cuts and wrestling in general forever being reformatted as we know it, do you ever think some form of old school wrestling territories will come back to fruition? AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, etc. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if that is exactly what is going to happen. But you also have to keep in mind that it's really about what we're this whole situation. I keep stuttering. I apologize. I'm very stuttery about this whole situation because it messes with my head a lot that we're stuck in this hellacious situation. The situation is forever fluid. It's constantly in motion. Things change day to day, minute by minute almost. I mean, I was in here yesterday before we went on live with the NoDQ review, watching, there goes the damn dog again, watching the president and the vice president and his committee, his team, talk about, different things. And again, it's a lot of the same things we've been hearing from everybody, but, things are changing. It's complete chaos. And I think expecting wrestling to adapt quickly is unrealistic. And as far as territories, again, the territories thrived because of attendance. Territories thrived on selling the house out or bringing butts into seats. And if you can't put butts in seats, you can't run a territory. So I don't know how that would apply in the 2020 COVID wrestling business. I don't see how that would work. But I do like the question, though, so thank you. Kobe, time for your question, sir. What other stories do you think Dark Side of the Ring will make into episodes? My suggestion would be the 1992 scandal with the Ring Boys and the drugs. I don't know if they're going to touch that one. I think that one is a little bit too dark. And again, they're going to talk about Dina Bravo this coming week, which is really freaking dark. Talked about Chris Benoit, which of course was the darkest period in wrestling history, as far as how much impacted the business. And I can think of no better person to bring in on. I was really just getting to be friends with at the point that Chris Benoit did what he did and the whole thing went down. And he is the renegade of wrestling. He is my former roommate, my former co-host, my brother from another, whatever, what parent you want to throw in there, I guess. JJ Williams, we're on camera together. Did this actually happen?
What's up? How's it going?
Like, we're actually on camera together. I didn't think it was craziness. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, geez. Yeah, well, you're using that work Wi-Fi, so good luck with that. I know all about so I brought you in mainly because I wanted to ask you about Howard, because you've been a fan of a long time, and if your first live wrestling show was not after my first WrestleMania, so oh hell, okay. Let me hang on. Let me reboot you, and I lost you. Oh, there you went. Okay, we're gonna bring Jay in momentarily. I'm gonna tell. Oh, maybe we got him. Let's see. Did we get him? There we go. There he is. Okay. Your first was the night after, which was at yours at Staples Center. Mine was at Anaheim. So you've watched the evolution of the thing, as far as from respected announcer to luster of Trish and Lillian over the years, and just want to get your thoughts on Howard Finkel.
He was always a great ring announcer. He was one of the most respected voices and people within the company, longest tenured employees. I honestly don't think anybody really has a bad word to say about the Fink. You can talk trash about just about any other person that has walked through those halls, but Howard Finkel and probably Mean Gene Okerlund are probably two of the most well-respected names to ever walk through the WWE doors and grab a microphone and make somebody.
Yeah, it's Mikey was on earlier and was talking about that Howard's the soundtrack of our childhood, man, and you weren't a fan as a child, but you've gone back and been able to watch stuff since then, and he's from every champion pretty much since the end of the Bruno era, he's been the guy. So,
and even once he stopped being a full-time ring announcer, they would always trot him out at Mania to do like the major match so that you could get that Finkel stamp on it.
Yep, and then of course CM Punk brought him out at Survivor Series when he won the championship and started that 434-day reign. So big props to Punk for that. That was pretty cool. So, what are you doing to keep yourself from going crazy? I mean, I know you're still working. It's obvious you're still working because you're at work now. But
there's not a whole lot to do to keep me from not going crazy. I'm dealing with stuff on the front lines every single day here at work, 5, sometimes 6 days a week. I usually get home and I have maybe an hour or two to just like take a shower, unwind, go to bed, and then have to be back doing it all again the next day.
Good Lord. I can't, both you and my mom are employed by the same company, and just it amazes me that both of you guys are in your own way troopers and heroes of your own division of the company, and I can't emphasize enough how grateful the schlubs like us are to you guys. So thank you for doing what you do. Appreciate it.
Oh, definitely. Right now I'm just thankful that I still have a job. When so many people have been go, Mikey's not working, millions of other people out there either laid off or just fired completely while this goes on. I'm definitely thankful to still have employment, but at the same time, you know, there's times when I wish they would just shut everything down for a couple of weeks, because I think that's really the only answer to the solution right now. The fact that there's still
Right.
things open for people to go out to, I think, is what keeps prolonging this.
I agree. Yeah, I get the need to maintain normalcy as much as possible, but we live in a digital age. We can pretty much do anything right here.
Yeah.
You know, the fact is, I'm staring at a little green dot right here, and I got 6 streams going. It ain't that it wasn't hard to do. You know, it's I can do there. Other than this chair to keep myself entertained, busy, and working toward a goal of making money on this. So, you know, again, you know, it ain't that serious. Truck, pull up to the house and drop off my milk and cookies. I'm good, you know, so I'm fine with that. And the fact is, you know, doing what you do, the first 2 weeks were batshit crazy because there was nothing to grab to bring to the cars. So it was you know,
definitely.
I can't even process how you. Yeah, it's you know, and it's just crazy. And you know, you mentioned everybody being out of work. We have a lot of people that we're either acquainted with or friends with on the WWE payroll that aren't on the payroll anymore. I mean, they cleaned house this week. I
know, I saw that. It's like that happened and then things passed. It was like for the company.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you saw yesterday's review compared to last week's. Last week's was a complete, like, I was getting hot about, I forget what we ended up talking about the Brawl for All, and Virtue and I just got into we actually got into a Vince Russo defense. Like, I never defend Russo on anything, but I found myself, and I was up at my, like, you know, like getting red ass Jeff in there yesterday, man. Subdued. So it's amazing what a week can do for perspective. So, are you clocking in at 4:30, or what's your time table?
About 4:30 until I have to go back from lunch.
Well, then I will. I'm gonna get 2 more questions, so I'm going to let you go do your thing and woosah for the next 11 minutes, and we'll catch you on the flip side for another appearance, brother.
All right, for sure. Have a good
one. Take it easy, boss. Good to see you, man. You too now. Whoop. That's not what I wanted to do. Did I? No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make that go away. How about both Stat Boy and Renegade on the same show, man? That hasn't happened in more than a few years now. Really cool. So, I like Wrestling Fan. Thank you very much for this. We enjoyed doing those dad's reunion videos after I had moved out of the apartment and I was only going down there to visit in 14 prior to more changes around here. But it was wonderful to sit across the table from JJ and do those videos and, you know, just have content, which was always a good thing to be able to do. Guys, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go into a commercial break. That way we can pay the bills, if you will. Let me just get it going here. And come on, I need you to load, computer. You do not be stupid today. I'm going to go ahead and throw up the one for right back. I'm on course or not. I'm supposed to. Okay, let me get rid of that. Okay, so appreciate you guys tuning in today. I said to answer that question. I don't drive. Am I still muted? What the hell? I shouldn't be. Okay, let me get rid of that. Okay, so why am I loud? Okay, let's try that again. Come on. Definitely need to reboot the system again before I do another show. Okay, so the question from PsychoJet Black is, what car do I drive? I actually do not drive. I have never actually been a licensed. A conscious choice, kind of a subconscious choice. Just wasn't. Bear with me, guys. Can you hear me now? Okay, well, I hope so, because that's I'm gonna go for it. Okay, I hear myself on the air, so there you go. It's not about a new computer, PsychoJet Black. It's about the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi in here is terrible, and it's not anybody's fault. It's just we're stuck with Spectrum. So, do I see any more call-ups? Mark is the question. I don't think we're going to see any restructuring or moves or anything going forward. The fact is, they released a lot of people this week, a lot of good people this week, as a matter of fact. Yeah, they weren't using them on TV, but they're still good hands to have. And they furloughed a lot of the producers, which really surprised me. But again, there's no road shows, so I have road agents, right? That just makes the most sense. I said that yesterday on the review. And let's see. I had more questions on Twitter, so let me go back to the Twitter. The Twitter, as Bully Ray would say, the Twitter machine. I need mentions. And I need, ask me anything. There we go. There's me. Got that one. I may have asked this last week. And if I did, I'm sorry, but I'm going to ask it again. But before we do that, I will go ahead and get Wrestling Fan 1998's question out of there. It's here. Come on, load, please. Oh, Lord. WWE releases were cruel and unfair, especially at this time, don't you think? Again, we're trying. I think the wrestling fandom, especially on social media, is so to condemn or demonize Vince or the company, whatever the case may be, when rough and things need to happen, decisions need to be made. At the end of the day, it's a business, and yes, they are a multi-million-dollar company. Okay, but when you're doing television production and you have a grand total of at 10 people, 10 different people appearing in the ring in the course of a 3-hour show, when you have recaps and you have promos and you have things like that, and as far as the actual wrestling goes, there is no reason to keep people on the roster that aren't on television and aren't being used. And it's not like they're not, okay, well, they can do main event. No, they can't. And they can't do superstars, whatever the show name may be. Not doing anything outside of Raw, NXT, SmackDown, the occasional pay-per-view. So for us to sit in judgment of Vince McMahon or Triple H or talent relations, whoever that may be, and say that they were cruel and unfair, I vehemently disagree. And I only say that because it's a business. And it's not like anything else in this world that is a business, again, and people were very quick to point out, and I saw this on Twitter today, and it really stuck me right here. The Walt Disney Company, the parks in particular, are laying off tens of thousands of people, either furloughing them or flat out releasing them from their jobs. And it was crickets when that happened. The WWE lets go of 30 people, and he's the devil. He's the worst person of all time. Perspective, folks. Perspective. I'm just, it's again, maybe that's me defending Vince when I shouldn't, but and yeah, Tommy wasn't happy, and I understand that Tommy wasn't happy. And Tommy Dreamer or their people they worked with or whatever being let go. I also had a problem yesterday with the fact that it should have been Baron Corbin, or it should have been this guy or that guy. It shouldn't have been. Shouldn't be anybody. If you're gonna pull the dick card, take it out of your pants all the way, dude. Seriously. It shouldn't be anybody, or it should be the ones it was. The fact of the matter is, Baron Corbin is being used on TV for pay-per-views and for Raw. He is a top heel. The fans can't stand him. Yes, people feel like he didn't earn his spot, and I disagree with that also. I'm going to be clear on that. I do agree, however, with Wrestling Fans 1998 comment here that Kurt Angle's being released was so foolish because that guy has so much wrestling knowledge. At the same time, what has he done in a television capacity since WrestleMania last year? Number one. Number two, they let go of, or they furloughed how many producers this week? Why would they furlough half a dozen people producer-wise and keep Kurt Angle in a role like that? It's very it would be very suspect. It would be very foolish to try to pull that card out of their hat or out of their deck and try to do that. Be very, very poor decision to do that, in my opinion. And it's my show, so of course it's my opinion. Last question, and we're gonna get to Psycho Jet Box question right now. Do you think Braun Strowman regrets his comments against Evil Uno? No, I don't. I don't think Braun Strowman regrets anything that he says against people in other companies, indie workers, or whatever. The fact of the matter is, Braun Strowman, where he sits right now, is 2 years overdue. And I am of the firm belief that Vince McMahon feels that way. And that's why they gave him Goldberg to squash when Roman had to bow out of WrestleMania. So I hope that they get a good match out of the Fiend and Braun. I honestly hope Braun retains, but at the same time, if the Fiend doesn't regain the championship, what do they do with him going forward? It's going to be disastrous if they don't. So I love that HWM Ghost at HWM Ghost G Host posted the Wrestling Marks Battle Royal from XMV 100. One of the funnest times we ever had doing XMV. That whole week of taping was really fun, and I can't believe that was this summer. It's completely madness that it was that long ago. All right. That's going to do it for me here on the Jeff Meacham Network. I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in today. Again, we went over an hour, so I appreciate everybody tuning in. Your comments were greatly appreciated. I appreciate Mikey coming on and Greg and JJ making a cameo. I appreciate everybody. I say the word appreciate a lot, but I do. It's, again, I mentioned this during when JJ was on. These shows, so I am forever grateful to all you out there on YouTube, on Facebook, on Periscope, and on Twitch for watching each and every week. It has not gone unnoticed, and that is why I continue to do what I do, because I